Hi guys, sorry I haven't made a video for I think it's about a week and a half. I've been busy working on the Facebook page for you all because I know some of you learn better with sort of reading stuff and sort of images that I'm putting up, and others like the face contact, the one-on-one, as if I'm actually talking to them. So it's a case of balancing the two really with my other commitments at the minute. I hope everybody is okay and you're all feeling fantastic and had a good day. It's a beautiful sunny day out there. Summer's come in the UK and it's a lovely thought. Right, okay, what I'm going to talk to you today is about arrogant behaviour. Okay, people who display behaviours where they lord it over you. All right, and getting into a conversation with someone who has arrogant behaviour can be really difficult. Okay, they're always right, no matter how you try and put your point across, they're always right. There's an air of authority about them, and even when they're not in a position of power, they think they have that power over you, and they whatever they are debating, whatever they are trying to converse with you about, they will always come from a place of their point of view is much better than yours, and it's not really easy to actually deal with. Because they just won't consider your opinion, regardless of whatever you try to say. You know, they're always right, okay? So what I'm going to talk to you today about is how you can actually behave around people who display arrogant behaviour for yourselves, okay? But I'm going to give you a few examples as well. A first example I have for you is years ago when I was teaching. I had a vast range of students that sort of come through my hands. You know, some are very articulate, some are very streetwise, you know, and the slang words that they would use was very different to sort of the articulate, you know, sort of students that I had. And in the line that I was teaching, there would always be a combination, you know, there would always be a combination of the way that people would interact and communicate. Anyone, if I just say anyone who has air about them and they want to sort of power over you because they know better and they're very arrogant in the way that they do, you know, they have conversations with you. It's all about control, you know. It's I am better than because I know better than, you know, you will bow down to me and listen to what I have to say. You know, it's that type of person that I'm talking about. Arrogance comes, there's a lot of other stuff that comes in with arrogance, but I'm sort of staying on this one to give you the examples. Right, okay, years ago, like I said, I was teaching and I had a very large mix of different people. The dynamics in every group were always different, and it always taught me something, you know, and I learned so much from that experience all the years that I was teaching. But I never forget this one particular student that I had, and he was very articulate. You know, he spoke with he was very articulate in the way that he spoke, in his whole mannerism. He was very articulate, and he always used very long, confusing words, okay? Words where other students in the group would get a little bit confused, and they were constantly sort of looking at each other, and, you know, whenever this particular person would start the conversation, it was always talking with long words, articulate words, okay? And I come to realise that that was part of his way to feel more powerful within the group, okay? And part of what I was teaching was all about self-awareness and personal development. So it lasted a good 3 or 4 weeks, you know, before students started actually saying, you know, I'm really sorry, but I don't understand what that means. You know, you're coming out with all these different words and I don't understand what that means. So, you know, some of the students would find the courage to sort of challenge this particular student. And what I found as well was that he literally became uncomfortable, where he was more than comfortable sitting in his position of being better than, because he was pronouncing words and saying long words, you know, to all the other people, not all the other people, because there was a vast range of, you know, dynamic. As the weeks went on, I found that the more that people were challenging him, the less he felt the need to do that. So it was almost like a safety aspect for him to be speaking the way that he was, to almost undermine people But when he realised that he didn't need to have that air about him, he could just simply be himself and he was going to be accepted wherever, even though challenges is part and parcel of the teaching, his whole persona changed. And it was interesting to watch how he would do that, you know. In his written work, the words, you know, he was really, really good with written work, I have to say. And the presentation, you know, with regards to how he would write sort of essays and write sort of journals and stuff was really, really good, you know. But it was no better than what the other students were writing, because they were coming from the core of who they were. And that is part and parcel of the training, you know, the counselling psychotherapy training that I was teaching. So even though someone is quite arrogant and their behaviour can be quite intimidating for some, 9 times out of 10 it's usually used as a way of self-protection. You know, it's having to sort of feel better than by displaying sort of arrogant sort of communication with people. So what I found was that people who do that really do tend to do it out of a safety aspect, really, because they get the sense that they are better than by being like that, you know. And I'm not saying, you know, some people that this is how some people are, but in some situations where you have arrogant behaviour, and that's fine, guys, you know, everybody is unique and wonderful and absolutely amazing in the core of who they are. But if you have somebody that is extremely arrogant and their behaviour literally does undermine you and make you feel quite unsettled in even bothering to have a conversation with this person, because you know that you're just going to have a load of gobble back, you know, and their opinion and this is this and this is that and you were always right and blah blah blah. Different in a working situation, you know, but then you can work with people, but you don't have to actually get along with them, you know. That's a totally different way of dealing with it, you know. So what I want to talk to you about is ways to actually handle it, okay? And the first thing I need you to do, when you're in a conversation with someone and someone is lording it over you and you're not being heard, they're not even considering what you have to say, you know, before you even open your mouth, you know that they're going to shoot you down, you know, is when you find yourself in situations like this, just breathe, okay, and pause. In that breathing and in that pause, okay, you can compose yourself to form a response, all right? You can. And if you feel calm enough to give a response, then give the response, okay? And if it doesn't work, breathe and pause again. The more you can do this, the more control you have over somebody's perception and reflection of where they're at, impacting the core of you, okay? On a vibrational level, you know, the mirror image, you and I, you and I, you and I. So once you've done that, if it's still not working, give that person a false perspective. You know, you don't need to change their perspective, I mean in your mind. All right, so you imagine that person, you know, sort of almost, I don't know, come up with a story in your head. Create a story in your head about who this person is, or maybe what this person has been through. And to be honest, it helped me at many occasions, you know, especially when, you know, sort of different things that I have to do with people who were actually in authority, you know, was I would imagine them, you know, sort of sitting there in flowery shorts, you know, and I would relax within, you know, this is who I am, this is what I've got to give, you know, there you go, you know, and that's really did help me, you know. Or another thing you could do is sort of maybe put a sad story on it, but it's about changing your perception of that person, not about what that person is trying to say, okay, because it'll shift your whole vibration within you if you can put a false perspective on, you know, what that person is or who that person is, you know, behind the behaviour they're displaying. Okay, the third thing I want to talk to you about is don't get aggressive. Don't lose your temper, because it is just like a match, okay? And you are literally with an arrogant person who lords it over you, okay? And their behaviour is so bad that, you know, whatever you say is never ever going to be right. You know, your opinion is pointless because it doesn't matter anyway. With people like that, you know, it is really pointless becoming aggressive, because it's just that they're going to strike that match on you and ignite a flame, and then before you know it, you're in a sort of really heavy discussion. And if that happens in work, then you may be having a disciplinary as well, you know. But don't lose your temper. Don't let their arrogant behaviour they're displaying lie on you. You know, don't let it make yourself be feeling awful and nasty and horrible inside, because it lasts all day, you know. And if if you can then, you know, calmly state, you know, everybody's entitled to an opinion, you know. You were entitled to your opinion, I'm entitled to mine. But 9 times out of 10, people who display arrogant behaviours and want to lord you over you when you have a conversation, you know, they love the debate, because out of that debate they get a sense of authority, and I am good enough and I am better because I am this and I am that, okay? So if you can't, you know, come to any conclusion, you know, that everybody's entitled to an opinion, you know, both not right nor wrong, it's just difference, okay? Then, well, you stop debating. You know, it's pointless. It is absolutely pointless. So just stop debating and leave the room, unless obviously it's a working situation. But then you can get somebody that is in a management role or further up or whatever to sort of help out with that situation. You know, there's always somebody there that can help. You know, unless you're really at the top, and it's slowly at the top. And if it's someone in your personal life, okay, if it's somebody in your personal life that keeps doing this to you over and over and over again, limit contact. You know, you don't have to be in the company of people who make you feel unworthy, who make you feel as if you're not fit to be on their shoes. You know, just stay away. You know, limit contact. You choose the people you have in your world. You choose the people to share your life with. You know, so try and limit contact. You know, if it's a relationship side of things, you know, that'll come into the relationship sections. But the same principles will apply, really, you know. So, number 1, breathe and pause, okay? Number 2, create a false perspective, you know. Put something, you know, an image in your mind about that person, because it'll help you stay calm and relaxed, okay? And maybe see things a little bit differently, you know, as in they are getting something from this, you know, by being so aggressive and arrogant in their approach. Number 3, don't lose your temper. And don't become aggressive back, you know, absolutely wasting your time. And number 4, you know, just if you can't state, you know, everybody's entitled to your opinion, and if it can stop there, all well and good. If it doesn't stop there, then number 5, stop debating. Stop the conversation, full stop, because it's gonna go nowhere except round and round and round and round in circles that is just going to escalate, and it's just going to become angrier and angrier and fuels. Oh, it's just not worth your day, not worth your time, you know. And if it's somebody personal, limit contact. If it's someone in your professional life and you have to have contact with, you know, you can walk away and speak to somebody else. But if it's someone in your personal life that's making you feel that you are not worthy, you know, you really seriously need to limit contact, you know. People like that in your world that can treat you so badly and be so arrogant and lord it over you all the time don't deserve to share your time and your life, okay? So basically that's it for today. I'm not sure when I'm going to do another video now, guys, because like I said, I'm setting up the Facebook page for you all, for those of you that would prefer the written word and me messaging you as well. So there's 2 links now. So if you want to ask any questions, you can either message me on Facebook or, you know, put something underneath here. I'll put the links for Facebook underneath here as well. So it may be a couple of days before I do another one. And if I do, it may be a spiritual diary entry, really, of where I'm progressing in my journey in enlightenment. But I'm going to say goodbye now then, guys. I hope you all have a wonderful day, or a few days until I speak to you again. And you all take care. All right? Lots of love. Bye now.